Hello and welcome to episode 174 of the Mouses Makes Knitting podcast. My name is Mandy, sometimes known as Mouse, and this is where I have realised I show you my hobby. I'll explain later why I've come to that realisation, but before I get started on the knitting, at the beginning of the year, Belinda from Belinda's Baubles and I ran a make-along. It was called the Topping Out Mal, and it was for you to finish up your whips. I drew for prizes. Belinda drew for prizes. We both drew from both finished object threads, and we did ask you to watch both podcasts because we were both drawing from both threads. Anyway, Belinda has had a winner who is yet to contact her, and she asked me if I would give a final shout out as the person had posted on my thread, the Mouses Makes thread. If she doesn't hear from you, she is going to draw again, I believe, and the person is JTW26. That is Jackie from New Jersey. I will try and remember and put it on the screen down below. Please contact Belinda by email on or at belindasbaubles@gmail.com. Okay. While I'm talking about other podcasts, there is a podcast that I meant to speak to you about last week and forgot because you know what I'm like. It's called Gypsy Queen Crafts. I'm going to link it below. I cannot remember the lady's name because, again, you know what I'm like. But I know she watches the podcast, so hello. Sorry I forgot your name. Don't take it personally. I forget the names of the people I live with. It's just how it is. So, shall we get on to knitting? This week I have dedicated a day to each, 6 of the things that I cast on at the cast on party on the 3rd of May. And I've made pretty good progress, and I've left one of them over there. We'll start with other things. Okay, let's start with this. This is the thing that I was working on yesterday, and it's probably going to be the thing that I work on today because I've already done, trying to reach something. I've already done something on it, which I'll show you in a second. This is called The Light Bright by Woolen Pine, and I'm going to attempt to get you up a photograph of it. This is on my Knit Companion, so as you can see, it's a tee worked in a fade. I am not fading my colours the way the pattern tells you to, and as it's got little cap sleeves, I want them a little bit longer. As it's a DK weight tee, I think having them a bit longer makes more sense. The yarn I'm using is the weekly advent from Little Lycac 2024, which was called the colour purple. And I have got this far. I neglected to put in a marker as to where I was last week, but I think it was about there. So I've done a lot, did a lot yesterday. Today I've gone back and picked up and done the neckband. Again, I've changed it from the pattern. The pattern has you do twice as long and fold it over. I didn't really want that. Plus, I was getting a little bit short of yarn. Let me show you. I've got to be careful how I get this out the bag, otherwise I'm going to tear myself up. Tear myself up? Tie myself up. It's begun, people. Have a stiff drink. It's only going to get worse from here. So this is colour 1. Don't know how that's coming out on your screen because, as usual, my light is rubbish. And this is colour 2, which is a couple of shades darker. I've got this much left of colour 1 after doing the neckband, so I'm going to join this back in because how can I explain this? It makes perfect sense, but I'm going to explain it in a way that makes it really complicated, I know. I'm holding fingering weight double and I'm dropping one strand and picking up one strand of the next colour for an amount of rows, however many it works out to be. Then when I run out of the first colour, I'm carrying on with the next colour. See, that was perfectly simple, wasn't it? But I tried to explain that last week and I'm sure I made a terrible mess of it. So I'm going to add this back in and carry on knitting with it because I only joined the second colour in. Oh, you can see, I think, there. So I've only got those few rows and I would like some more. So I'm going to join that back in and carry on with that till it runs out. Then I will start pulling from the centre of this ball. Use that for, I think I've worked it out. Here we go again. I want it longer than the pattern, of course I do. And I've worked out the length that I want it in inches and divided that by the number of colours I've got, which gives me a rough guide of how many inches of each colour I want. Then I've taken off that amount, 5 inches say, I've taken 1.5 that I want to come on word, where I want to switch from one colour to the other, so I'm using one of each for 1.5 inches. So for example, I would do, if 5 inches is the number, I would do 4.5 inches. No, I would do 3.5 inches, and then I would do 1.5 inches of them together, and then I would switch to the other one for the next 3 inches. Does that make sense? I feel I'm doing it again and making it really complicated when it's not. So let me show you the back, because obviously there's more to see, because there is not a neckline on the back. Well, there is a neckline obviously, but this has got kind of a scoop neck to it. So that's the back. And because it's rolling up, oh, you can just see there. That's where I've started adding the second colour. Okay, I'm going to put that there because that's the one I'm going to work on today. Right. What else? At the end of the episode, I've got some things that I'm going to show you and see if anybody wants. So don't go away. Okay. This is the one that I've left over there. So I'm going to show you the pattern to begin with. This is the Laoof sweater. And again, this is a free pattern. Again, I'm going to make it longer because well, I'm hopefully going to make it longer. It depends how the yarn goes. That is a bit short for me. And the sleeves, they're like bell sleeves. I don't like that. I will dip those sleeves in everything from the washing up to my coffee cup. Honestly, I am just not to be trusted with things that dangle. So I'm going to just do a straight sleeve and then do the rapid increase, decrease even, and then the cuff. That's my plan. Okay, let me get this. I'm going to put, oh, do I need to pause you? No, probably not. Right, I'm going to warn you now, I am wearing the most unflattering garment I possess. Just so you know before I get up. It's going to be very hard to get up because there is no floor space apart from the space that my feet are actually in. Everything else is covered in stuff. Right, hang on. Oh, okay, managed it. No disasters. Well done me. Right, I've got on really well with this. Mainly because I cheated and worked on it for 2 days. But I was getting so close to dividing for the sleeves that I didn't want to put it down, so I kept going. Again, I've done this, I tend to do this because I suppose it's, when I'm finished, I like to be finished. And so also when you're changing colours, I went back and I made sure that I had enough to do this neck ribbing. I nearly made a horrible mistake because I was looking at what I'd got left and thinking, I've got loads left. Forgot I was holding it double. So only half as much left as I thought I had, in real terms. So let me show you how much I had left after I'd done the neck. I had this much left, and that's smaller than it looks because of the way I wound it. I did it on my thumb so that I'd have a centre pull ball. Just over 4 grams left. So that was a lucky escape. That was what we like to call a narrow squeak. Right, so last time you saw it, I was there where the little sheep is hanging. So I've made pretty good progress, all of this, and also put on the neckband, so I don't have to worry about that when I'm finished. I started, this is my yarn, this one. I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see it quite well there. So there is a lot of green in it, although it looks a little bit yellow. And then I started joining in this one because I didn't have as much yarn of the first yarn left as I thought I had. I want to call it the progression, and that's not transition. Finally, the transition, excuse me, is not as long as I thought I would have liked it to be. So it should have been twice that, really. But it is what it is. So I wanted to get it underneath the neck. As you can see, it's quite a deep scoop neck. Didn't really want to change colour up here. So it is what it is. This yarn is, I told you last week, deep stash, my yarny corner. I think it's called oak leaf, baby oak, might be baby oak. Let me see. Falling leaves, nothing like that, ignore me. So I'm into that one now, quite well into that one, and this is the next one, which is another one of mine, and has got the same green in it, and that will begin the transition over to the browns and greens. So I think intended to use this as my second colour, but when I looked at it, this has got brown in and this one hasn't got very much. And as my next colour is going to be, let me show you them properly this week. Right. So that will go into this one. That's another My Yarny Corner. That's Lonely Lamplighter. That will go into that one, which is mine and is, oh, I don't know how well that's coming out. Brown with some green in. That's a bit better. And then there's another one with one of my hairs stuck to it. Hang on, let me. Is that going to brighten up like it did last time? No. Oh, yes, there we go. So that's the last colour. So that will be the transition through. I'm waiting for it to brighten up and I can't really see the screen. So this, I think, works better as the third colour, taking it from the brighter greens into the darker greens and the browns. Put those back in there. Put those back in there, because if you remember last week, my pattern was in the wrong bag. Yes, so I am very, very pleased with how much work I've got done on this. I'm going to move my progress marker while I'm talking to you. I will almost certainly make another one of those. I don't know why I'm saying almost certainly. I will certainly make another one of these. In fact, I'm already thinking about what yarns to do it in. So let's not pretend I'm not going to. We all know I am. Right. That is Laoof number 1. There is a second Laoof. That's lucky, this is it. This one is the cardigan. Now, last year sometime, some of my American friends who go to the same yarn shop, not the same yarn shop as me, the same yarn shop as each other, had a Laoof knit along, and I was jealous. I got FOMO, I felt left out, and I decided that I was going to knit myself one, and so I am. And as you see, that has also led on to the sweater as well. This is a free pattern. There is another free pattern. They're by Hedgehog Fibres. I don't think I said that. It's called the Turtle Poof, and it's got a turtleneck. I don't know about that one yet. I might end up making it. Who knows? Probably will. Let's be honest. Let's just say I probably will. But again, there will almost certainly be more than one of these. Right. Let's get into this one. This does not have as much work done on it as the sweater because I was a good girl and only did the one day. So I had that much. Ooh. When you saw it last week, that much. And now I have this much. I think, if I remember rightly, because I did this, might have been last Tuesday, I think I'm close to... Am I close to doing the sleeves? Maybe not. Maybe that's a bit ambitious. Let me see. I've got 200 grams of yarn hanging on it, which is why I'm struggling a little bit. Well, I don't know, maybe. Next time you see it, I will probably have divided for the sleeves. Okay. These are both my own yarn. And I'm on to the third yarn with this one. I've changed colour a bit sooner because this I don't need to be so long. I want it to go over dresses. So if it's kind of semi-crop waist length, that's fine. It doesn't need to cover my belly. Let's just put it out there. I like sweaters to cover my belly. Unless they're little crops that I'm going to wear over a dress, which that one is not. So the first two yarns are mine. This is really difficult. Whose idea was it to put these on the needle? Because it was not a good one. Right, let's try it like this. This yarn is mine. This yarn is mine. The yarn that I'm now just joining in is by Wildflower Yarns, and it is called Pastel Rainbow. Does anyone else remember from last week? Let me see. I've made this really difficult for myself because I pushed my little table out of the way so I'd have more room for all the stuff that is around my feet. Now I've got nowhere to put anything. Vanilla Rainbow. And again, that's fairly deep stash. I've had it a long time. I had Sorry, I'm rustling again. Sorry, Sarah. This much left from my first colour. Loads. So I've got second and third colour. Let me put that down there. That might be better. No, that way. So that's second, third, fourth and fifth. Let me put that down. This is the next colour, so this will be 6. These two are mine. This one is Little Mouse House called Time Bomb. And then, come here. Finally, that one, which will be for the ribbings. And that's mine as well. So, yes, you can see them a bit better this week. I've taken them out of the bag. I'm rather wishing that I had made these into a sweater as well, because they're rather gorgeous. But never mind. Never mind. Right. Can I get these back into the bag? We ask ourselves. There's going to be more crinkling. Prepare yourself. Okay, I'll put that away in a minute. Right, what's next? This one. This is a little shawl. Well, it's a little shawl now. It will eventually be a much larger shawl. See what I mean about this being not very flattering? It looks better when I'm standing up. Right, where are we? This is called the Aromilla shawl, which is a flower, I believe. Come on. And it will eventually look like this. It's patterned by Amber O'Brien. And I'm using a gradient cake that I bought on Etsy from Blooming Yarns. And the name of the cake is Cockerel. And I've got on quite well with this. I'm missing my little table. No, come back this way. Thank you. I need some stretch. Right. So I only had that little bit last week. And now I have got quite a lot more. It doesn't look like that much more, but it has grown widthways. Let me see if I can. Because it's a chevron shawl, I don't think it's going to show it terribly well, because obviously it's on a cable which is trying to pull it straight. But that's what I've got so far. I'm through. The next colour is just starting to come in. So I've gone through. They're all written on the side of the cake, which is really nice. They don't do that in, well, the ones that I've had before. The first colour, this is Desert. Sorry, Desert. Only one S. Desert. The next colour, slightly darker, is Curry, and Rust is just starting to come in. Then after Rust is Burgundy, so it's a cotton acrylic mix. It's really, really nice to knit with. If I remember, I will put a link to the Etsy shop below. Let me move that while I'm thinking about it. There we go. So that was one day's progress on that, and I didn't want to put that away. I was really enjoying that. What have we got left? Only 2 things left. This is my Ravelry cardigan by Amber O'Brien, and I'm making it with my Advent. There's a noise outside and it's just completely sucking my attention. Did you hear it? Someone's using like a buzz gun or something, and I don't know why, but it's just wiping my brain. Advent from Blue Fern Yarns. Again, this was one I didn't want to put down, and for that reason, I might as well tell you now, I'm going to carry on with these projects for this coming week. And in fact, I'm going to change my system. So I have been pulling out of my jar a whip of some description and a blanket to work on each month. And I thought I would change that up, keep the blanket for a month, but change the whip up to a fortnight. And I've had a rethink. I'm just going to work on these 6 whips until one is finished, and then I'm going to pull something out the jar and replace it. Did I say 6? I did say 6. My plan is to whittle it down to 5, and then when I finish something, get something out of the jar to replace it. The reason being, there are 2 days a week that I don't have much knitting time. Sunday and Monday are Dave's days off, and they're typically the days that we go out and we shop and we do things. So they're low knitting time days. So I want to have a bit of leeway that I can work on a favourite project, or I have a project that I keep next to my bed to do a few rows on every day to try and just nibble through it, as it were. And then I can work on the blanket on those 2 days, because I'm going to keep the blanket for a month, and just try and get things off the needles that way. Keep my interest going with projects, keep my momentum going, because I was finding that the way I was doing it, I was getting bored with what I was knitting, and then I would find other things to do rather than knit, like watch television or scroll through Instagram. And I would like to get some of my 36 projects finished, at least before the next cast on party, when I will probably cast on another 14, 15. I've already started a list. Anyway, that's right off track. And the reason I said earlier about I've come to the realisation that this is where I share my hobby, is that, like a lot of us, I've fallen into this trap of I must have new content each week, and lost track of the fact that this is my hobby that I am sharing with you. I'm not doing this really for your entertainment. I'm sorry to be harsh. That sounded really bad. I didn't mean that quite the way it sounded. But if I think about podcasts that I watch, I don't really remember from one week to the next what they were working on. If they work on the same project every week for like 6 months, I probably won't notice. And I feel like maybe you guys, no, probably you pay far much more attention than I do, but I feel like you guys are maybe the same. So I'm just going to keep these projects going. At least there will be a reasonable amount of progress on everything, and then I will start working my way through what I've got on the needles. That's my plan. Anyway, that was a tangent that I didn't intend to go on right now, but you can blame the man with the buzz gun, because he completely derailed me. Right, shall we get back to what I was supposed to be talking about? Ravelry cardigan, Amber O'Brien, Blue Fern Yarns Apothecary Advent 2024. I'm impressed that I managed to get all that out in one go. I had to. He might set off his buzz gun again in a minute. Right. I did not want to put this down. I have done loads. Oops. I'd forgotten I'd tuck that inside. Last time you saw it, I had that much. Literally half a cuff. I've now got a whole cuff and this much sleeve. Look at all that. Oh, now you can't see. Ta-da! This was a bad idea. I should have put it on the other arm. Anyway, I have changed slightly. Not changed. I have digressed slightly from the pattern. I'm not sure that's the right word, but it's the one my brain is offering, so we'll use it. I've made the cuff a little shorter than it says to, and I'm not changing colours where it tells me to. I'm using each colour up. Am I using each colour up? No, I'm not using each colour up. It's that man and his buzz gun, I tell you. I'm doing an extra row on each section that the pattern doesn't tell me to do, not each section, each colour, because the pattern is for 25 colours and I've only got 24. Did you follow that? Because I lost track in the middle there. So, yes, it's not changing colour at the same place as it should. But this is such... Buzzgun man, go away! I might actually have to stop this and wait till he goes for some lunch. This is such a good cohesive fade that I don't think it notices. Well, it doesn't notice. So you can't tell there that I am up to, I think, day 6. Yeah. I've just joined on day 6. But that is how good a fade. Oh, it's on the floor. That's how good a fade it is. And I didn't tell you last week, the yarn that I'm using for the cuffs and all the ribbings is a Yarnsmith's merino sock. But I'd already caked it up and it didn't have the ball band with it. So I don't actually know what colour it is other than grey. It's not the grey that I thought it was, because I ordered a couple of skeins of that thinking they would go with it and they didn't. So it's not that one, whatever that one was. I don't remember that either. Are you glad that man and his buzz gun had come? Those of you that like chaos are probably extremely happy right now. The rest of us are not, including me. Okay, the last of the projects was the Anthology throw. Now the Anthology throw is, as I'm sure everybody knows, a large circular blanket designed to be made with an advent, and I've already made one in 2022, I want to say. And I'd started it and I had to pull it down because I'd made a mistake and I didn't like the cast on that I'd used. So prepare yourselves, because why Mandy, why? Because here it is now. Are you ready? This is an awful lot of build up. Oh, enjoy the suspense. I've just dropped the little ball on the floor. Ta-da! Wait, you're all saying. That's not a circular blanket. That's not the Anthology throw. It doesn't look like that. You are correct. This is not the Anthology throw. As I said, I've made it before and I started knitting it and I just was like, I enjoying this? I'm not enjoying this. And I'd bought this advent. It's from Amanda at Little Icac. It's again the colour purple. I've put them all in a basket this time. It's all beautiful shades of purple. And I'd bought it specifically to make the Anthology throw to go on the back of my chair here to go with my light purple wall. And two things happened. Well, three if you count the fact that I remembered I didn't much enjoy the later stages of the Anthology throw. My friend Anne and I were knitting it at the same time, and she coined the phrase wrestling an octopus. And that is exactly what the last bit is like. It's like some kind of endurance test. Anyway, the other two things that happened were another friend, Carla, shared with me a picture of the Anthology throw that she'd made with the same advent, and she'd used it in a different way to me. But even so, I was like, oh, I don't want to do it now. Someone else has done it. I don't want to do it. And I put this on the back of my chair. This I made 2023 with the Ducky Darlings advent from that year, and this is called the Calm and Joy Advent Amcal Shawl by Tricot and Stitch. And I thought, do you know what? It's quite nice if I'm up here in the evening and my arms are chilly, I throw it on. It's quite nice on the back of my chair, protecting the chair from the sun. And I thought I'm going to knit another one of those because it's held double, so it knits more quickly. You do the transitioning thing that I'm doing with the Laoofs, where you drop one yarn and pick up the next one and hold them together for a little while. Why couldn't I say it like that earlier? Why did I have to go into like a 10-minute long ramble about it? Anyway, this is what I have done so far. There is no marker for last week because last week it was something else. And again, I'm not, I've gone up a needle size, I should tell you that. I'm not using the size that it said in the pattern, because what you do is you knit this first bit up to that second row of eyelets there, and then you measure your gauge. Because it was originally an MCAL, you don't have to do a gauge swatch. Yes. So you do that and then you measure your gauge, and I did not have as many stitches as I should have, so I've gone up, well, half a needle size. I've just gone up to the next size needle. And so rather than change colours when it tells me to, I am on this one using the yarn until it runs out. So, and I loved every minute of knitting this. Absolutely loved it. So definitely a better choice than the Anthology throw. Much as I love the first one I knit, when I started knitting it, I remembered how challenging it had been in the end, because you end up with something like nearly 2,000 stitches and it's just madness. I'm going to leave that there because the little ball that was attached to it has rolled under my chair. And it will take some retrieving because it's gone under the rocker, which means I am going to have to get off the chair to get it, because otherwise I will squash it as I lean forward. Right, that was all the knitting. Double checking my list, yes, all the knitting. Now, I said at the beginning that I had some projects. Well, I didn't say they were projects. I had some things that I was looking to rehome. I've got 3 blankets, 2 that are at the beginning and 1 that is quite close to the end, that I do not have it in me to finish. The first one is my fake Battenberg. Now, I'm looking for homes for these, okay? So if anybody wants to take these and finish them, UK only, I'm afraid, because of the postage. If you comment below, and I will answer your comment. If you're the first person to comment, it's yours, and I'll ask you to email me with your address and what have you. Do not put anything like that in the comments. Just say which blanket you would like, and I'll let you know if you're the first person or not. So yes, this is my fake Battenberg. I just can't do the crochet, especially not, I think I was doing this with a 3mm hook. Just can't do it. My wrist will not have it, and I've got a blanket, the Meow mosaic crochet, that I've got to finish. So I've got to save my crocheting moments for that. So if anybody would like to take this and finish it, you are more than welcome. It's corner to corner. Each little square is corner to corner, and on a 3mm needle with fingering weight held singly. Then there's this one, which again, is crochet, I just can't. This is another corner to corner blanket. Again, fingering weight held singly, and I've got this much. So if anybody would like the fake Battenberg, please just comment with fake Battenberg. And if anybody would like to take this one, it's C to C, comment with C to C. It's twice that width. I think I worked it out to be, well, certainly big enough for a single bed, possibly a double. But obviously it's only just started. You could do whatever you wanted with that. And thirdly, and this one is almost finished, but I just can't finish it. I have just grown to hate it, and there's somebody at the door.
Someone is at the front door.
I think it's the cat food delivery. They'll leave it. It's fine. This is the triangulum. So triangulum warning, everybody, but especially you, Ginny. It is almost finished. There is loads of it. And I just can't do it. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do it. I don't like it anymore. So if anybody would like this, again, it's fingering weight. I was doing it on 2.75 needles, millimetre needles. I will put, if anybody claims these, I'll put a note in saying what size I was using for them. Yeah, so just comment that you'd like to take the triangulum on, and I'll let you know. If you're the first person to claim it, I'll have you email me and I'll get that sent off to you. So it gets 3 whips out of my pile that I'm just not going to finish for one reason or another. I just can't. Okay, I just cannot. I'm done with them. So I think that is everything, and I should probably go and rescue the cat food off the doorstep. Double check. Yes, that is everything. So I'm going to go. I will see you next week with more progress on the same things that you saw this week and last week. Aren't you lucky? But as I said, it is an outlet for me to share my hobby, so I should really remember that and do the things that I want to knit, rather than knit things because I think you want to see something different. Okay, with that said, and now there's a plane. It might have been a helicopter, I don't know. Whatever it was, it's gone. I'm going to go away now, and I will see you next week. Bye guys.